Welcome to Jaguar Sports Talk Nation. I am your host, Zamar Tompkins. Today, we've got a very exciting episode. We've got the head coach for men and women's cross country lined up, and he's going to give us the ins and outs of everything running-wise here at GSU. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. JSN Niendorf. John, how you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming back. We always love to see our coaches, and it's always a good time when we get together. So, you ready to talk about some cross country?
Oh, I'm ready, man. Let's go, yeah.
All right, so we know that you used to be a runner here, not here, but just a runner for cross country. You've ran your whole life. Now you're a coach, but I need to know, what drew you to the sport?
Oh, man, the thing that drew me to the sport, I pretty much was a big basketball, football, baseball player. You know, like growing up, my dad, he played baseball in college, and he played football, basketball in high school. So, like, that was kind of the sports I was always drawn to. But actually, it was around, like, 5th grade. My older brother, Matt, he was in 6th grade, and he had come back and told, like, my parents, like, oh, I signed up for cross country. And my dad was like, what is cross country? Like, what is that? You know, like, he's like like I said, he's a big football, basketball, baseball guy. So he was like, what's that? And then, I just happened to, want to follow my older brother. I always kind of looked up to him. So I just wanted to follow in his footsteps, and then joined the cross country team. And then, kind of just took it from there. Just really fell in love with it. I love the culture behind the sport, just like when the gun goes off, just racing, giving it all you got. And just the people around it are just like the friendliest people in the world. So like growing up, I had like a lot of supportive teammates, a lot of supportive coaches, and just that whole environment, being around that was just like something I fell in love with. And just kind of beating yourself was like the main goal, which I really like that with the sport, just going out, trying to beat my own time. And that's just something that really drew me to it.
All right, we talked about what drew you to the sport as a runner. Tell me, now that you've shifted to be a coach, what is your philosophy, and what inspires the way you teach running to your athletes?
So my philosophy is basically just to instill hard work in our athletes and to make sure they're not only performing on the cross country course, but also performing in the classroom and as people in general. So I feel like good people make good cross country runners. So that's like my main thing, is just making sure that the whole runner is being taken care of, like whether it's injury-wise, academically, social, emotionally. That's all very big things for me. And that's really what I try to do as like a coach, just really try to take care of them in all facets. But then ultimately, when it comes down to racing, it is like you got to go out there and treat each other like family. You go out there and you're running for your brothers and sisters out there, and that's what I really try to bring to the team, is just make it sort of like a family atmosphere. So when you're tired, mile 2, mile 3, 4, whatever, that you're willing to give it your all for that person next to you, because you know that they're going to do the same for you. Instilling that hard work ethic and that family culture on the team, because when you're out there competing for someone that you view as like a brother or sister, then you're going to give it all you got. And that, I really think, kind of pushes you to taking off those extra seconds on your time and competing for your team. So that's my main philosophy, is just taking care of the whole runner and building that family environment on the team.
That's major. That's big. I love to hear that. Speaking of the team, let's talk about it. You are the coach of men and women's cross country. I want to focus on the men for just a second. This season, your team was mostly consisting of freshmen. Tell me, how was it working with just mostly freshmen on the team and having them to make up your roster?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, Dante Miller was our only returner. He's a junior this year. So really, we were just kind of starting from scratch almost. So recruiting-wise, I was hired in January, so we really had to hammer out the recruiting. And we were able to bring in 8 other guys in this season. But yeah, working with freshmen, it is challenging, because this is a whole new environment to them. So, living in the dorms, getting used to having their own schedule, that was the most difficult part, is because, we're getting up at 5 o'clock every morning, practices at 6 a.m. So for some of those freshmen, that was the earliest they've gotten up in their lives. So just kind of like focusing on like, hey, you can't stay up till 3 a.m. playing video games, and you just don't have that time anymore. You're a full-time student, you're a full-time athlete. But overall, they really rose to the occasion, and it was a great group of guys, and they all ended up getting personal records as the season went on. But it was definitely challenging, especially the first half of the season. Just getting them all on schedule, getting their classes scheduled. They had no idea like what degree audit is or anything like that. So like just figuring out like, okay, I'm a computer science major. I should probably be taking classes that pertain to computer science. So that was all just coaching that goes along with it. And then my seniors on the girls' side helped so many of those freshmen register for classes and just kind of get to know the campus and, what it means to be a, collegiate athlete and also a student as well.
All right. And you kind of alluded to it just now. We want to switch over to talk about the women's team. That roster is consisting of mostly seniors. So how is it having a little bit more seasoned roster as far as the women's team go?
Oh man, the women, they made my life easy. They were just phenomenal. They'd show up 10 minutes early every practice. Their study hours got it done like super easily. And they were just great people to be around. They were extremely positive. Just a very likable bunch of girls, and they just really, those young women just helped our young guys so much in terms of, like I said, registering for classes, kind of showing them the ins and outs of the university, just helping them out with like emailing professors or, a lot of our freshmen were bio majors and a lot of our girls are bio majors, so they were able to help them a lot with study sessions and things like that. But even just like showing them like how dorm life works and what you can and can't do. Just the girls were just phenomenal this season. Like they made my life super easy, and even the freshmen coming in, they were awesome students and just awesome athletes to coach.
Great. Awesome athletes to coach. That's a good time to take a break here. So let's go ahead and get into a commercial break. We'll be right back with John Niendorf, and we're going to be talking about the future of cross country here at GSU. Don't go far.
Yeah. Come on.
This is not going to be
going on. We messing with the new guy. Oh, there he is. Wait for it. Look at this.
Yeah, y'all have fun with that.
He almost got it. Be fast.
Welcome back to Jaguar Sports Talk Nation. We're still here with head coach John Niendorf. Now we're switching over to talk about recruiting and the future of GSU and cross country. Coach, tell me, what is your recruiting process like to get people to come here to GSU?
The recruiting process, it is kind of like, it's like cold calling a little bit, I'll write down a ton of names. Me and my assistants will just write down a bunch of names all within like a time that we're looking for to be on the team. And we pretty much just go to meets and we try to go up to as many coaches as we can. We'll go up to like 10, 20 coaches throughout like a cross-country meet, and they're usually about 2 to 3 hours long. So pretty much just go in there, talk to as many kids as we possibly can. We may talk to 100 kids at a meet, and then we may end up getting like 10 to 15 numbers, and then we may end up getting like 5 to actually come and visit. But then when they do come and visit, then it's all about them showing them the campus, kind of expressing like how amazing our dorms are, the small class sizes. We have that swimming pool, the weight room area is nice, and just the cafeteria is very nice. So like really, once the recruits come in and see the campus and all of our girls and guys are kind of helping give the tours and everything like that, they like really do end up like falling in love with the campus. So then after that, they generally want to sign or, and then we do have like a lot of money that we can offer here at GSU. And then the campus, I believe, is GSU still the cheapest school in Illinois, public school?
I do believe so.
Yeah, so like that's always like a big selling point, especially for kids like around the area. You can commute to the school, and if you're on an athletic scholarship, you're pretty much going for free. And if you're living on campus, you're going for next to nothing. So it's very hard to argue against that when you're recruiting. So we do have like a leg up in that regard for recruiting, but really my whole philosophy is just showing them the school, showing them the team. Maybe we go out and see like a movie, like we're about to go see Black Panther, do a big recruiting visit for that. And just really helping them fall in love with the school and the team. And then all of my assistant coaches are really good at selling it. So they're all extremely experienced. They were all very good collegiate runners, so they helped sell the program as well.
Amazing stuff. So you talked about looking for runners. Like, what are you looking for when you're looking for an athlete?
So ultimately, like the times, they're the ones that initially draw us to them. But then it's mainly about like the conversation. Like, do I think that you're a hard worker? Do I think you're a good student? Do I think that you're a good person? Because ultimately, like the team right now, the chemistry is extremely good. So we don't want to bring in anyone that's going to kind of like ruin that team chemistry or cause problems. So that's a big thing that we look at is like, how are your morals? You know, are you morally a good person? Are you a good athlete? Are you a good student? Like, are you going to be able to make it through the college workload? Those are the main things that I'm looking for in an athlete. And just that conversation, it's hard to tell after like only talking to a recruit for an hour or so, but as you get to know them more and more, you can kind of get a tell. And then you always ask the athletes like, oh, what'd you think of him or her? And then the athletes, they'll be the ones that tell you like, no, they're not going to vibe well with the team, or they will vibe well with the team.
Right. So you talked about it and the chemistry that your team has, and tell me how much of a challenge is it to develop that chemistry, and how do you plan to further that chemistry?
Oh, it's extremely challenging because all these freshmen coming in, they don't know each other, and a lot of runners, they can be very shy people. Sometimes they can be shyer, more reserved people. So getting them to kind of break out of their shell is the hardest part, and we try to do things like right away in the beginning of the season, we did a run on the lakefront up in Chicago. We had a big beach day. You know, we got like a bunch of food. We like threw around the football, the frisbee, went in the water. So that was like a really good way to get team chemistry. And then I'll have like team barbecues at my house. We'll go out to eat after every meet, movie nights, things like that. We had a bonfire at my house after the season was over, like a team bonfire where me and my wife, we cooked for the team. So that's just the biggest things. And then just kind of initiating those conversations, and then eventually the kids, once they break out of their shell, now they're all like this now. So now that hopefully then when we bring in more recruits, they can just kind of bring them into the fold. But it was definitely like hard to establish it at first, especially when you're getting up at 5 a.m. every morning. No one wants to talk that much in the morning. But now the team, they talk all the time and they really get along. So that was a big hurdle in the beginning, but now they're all pretty tight-knit.
Gotcha. Love to hear it. You've won me over. I was already a fan, but I'm even bigger fan now. For all the people part of the GSU community who are a fan like I am, is there anywhere we can find you guys on social media?
Oh yeah, we have an Instagram page. It's GSU_cross country. You can also, my phone number is also on the website. My email is jniendorf@govstate.edu. And you know, anyone can feel free to email me, text me, reach out to me in any way, and I'm more than happy to help any recruits find their home here at GSU and help anyone that wants to talk and learn more about the program.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate having you on the show. Well, there you have it, everything you need to know about cross country. I'm your host, Zamar Tompkins. Thanks for stopping by Jaguar Sports Talk Nation. If you're looking for anything as far as GSU's athletes go, stop by GSUJaguars.com for sports, stats, schedules, and everything related to Jaguars.